in Singapore first. Yeah, the new updates is that she already got some new contacts for NUS and NTU in Singapore. I think
Okay.
that's update.
Okay. So
And
when I open that card, Mrs. Chair, I see it's not ready. There is no intended outcome. There is no hypothesis.
yeah,
Their dates aren't filled out, and the card number isn't filled out. So I think this is probably a good example of what not to do so far. Okay. All right. And also the person isn't tagged on the actual card itself, so we're not really sure who's supposed to be responsible for that. I've gone ahead and tagged Kiki on it, so her icon appears
maybe
on.
also, Mr. Secretary, would you please comment on the activity to
Yes,
where
please complete this
or
card. It's
complete
not
them?
very informative. Informative. Okay, done.
Okay, thank you. And then go to the next update about dating session. I think the last we have 5 couples administered.
Okay.
There are 5 other couples left.
Okay.
So, okay, and then for Skillshare, sir, do you have any updates for next week? Skillshare already?
No, I've delegated this to Kiki to come up. I think this one has been not so good on the follow through. We did exactly 0 skill shares this week after the delegation had happened. So yeah, I might need to reconsider whether or not the delegate was adequate. I'm going to move this back to. Oh, I can't move it back. I need a new delegate actually. I'm going to postpone this right now because yeah, because otherwise I don't have time to really focus on it full time either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new list called postpone, and we're going to wait until we get somebody. Maybe the new person can do it. Yeah, the new person that comes in could be a good delegate to have them work on that. So
Hmm. Okay, I'll make the new apa students on trials to do it.
yes, yes, please, because the previous delegate was not very effective. Okay, all
Okay.
right. So let's go back over to Kiki's. Okay, that's it. That's my update.
Okay, and then for it was the relation. Oh wait, sir, but my question: are we going to still have Skillshare for next week, or it's postponed with between next week?
I don't know. So we need a person before we have an activity, and right now I can't do it. It's not.
Mhm.
I would say it's not as urgent as other things for the moment, but I do still want to have it. We just don't have a person to look after it, right? So before, I think we're all a little bit less busy, but now that we have an intern stack of candidates, we have operational work to do. So I think you'll be too busy to actually take care of that. Vidi's got his thing to do. I've got my things to do too as well. So Kiki was the best choice for it because she was an intern, but wasn't very successful last week. So we'll probably need to find somebody else on it before we can relaunch it. Yeah? Which is
Okay.
okay. I think that's part of the natural process. If we have enough people, we can do it. If we don't have enough people, then we can't do it. And plus, the attendance wasn't getting that great either. So I don't know if this was even something people really wanted. So, all right, okay.
Okay. Okay, so for the next one about update on national university relation. So the update for this one is I think there's no update on the activity. And then so far, I think we're waiting for the online class, online sharing session for
In
ASEAN
June.
Institute of
Mhm.
OE.
Okay.
That's that. And then for the uni startup incubator, I think also like no update on this one.
Yeah. So not very good communication culture right now on Kiki's part. I think for updating the cards, there's just no either the work isn't being done or nobody's writing it down. Right. So it's a bit unclear. Yes. Tara.
Also, sir, I think we already talked to her regarding to merge these 3 cards, right? Like twice already.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit sort of bothersome, I think, in terms of communication. Yeah, we made a specific point about that,
Mhm.
and I think that has not been done right at all.
Mhm.
So yeah, does Kiki go back on the danger list for having uncoachable?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, then. Let's go to your stack then, sir, about the
Okay.
role of secretary or recorder.
This is actually pretty cool. Now, this is getting a little bit better. So, all the chapters right now have a dedicated secretary, except for revenue management, actually. Revenue management, we don't really have a dedicated secretary at the moment. But on that one, it's okay. I don't think we have actually, um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like if we put somebody on secretary and revenue management, we might lose some discussion thoroughness. So, otherwise, this practice is now pretty well adopted now in DM, in community management HAR. Rafik has added a new practice, which we will do today, which is at the end of the meeting, the secretary will review basically all the notes from the previous from the discussion, so that there's a summary. Um, so that's a new practice. I think as soon as all the chapters do that, then I think this will be successful. So this is all right. This is the first week of rotation, and by the third week, I will consider it done. Third week of rotation, this will be done. Okay.
Also, sir, are you writing the meeting notes right now?
Am I writing the updates right now? No, I'm not because I'm talking right now, right? So it's kind of like hard to update and write at the same time. That's one of the other things I noticed that's pretty difficult to do. The secretary should be the person who's in the least speaking role during the sync up, and yeah, that's one of the crucial things.
Okay, so are we still using the HR meeting notes? Or
Yes, yes, we are using the HR meeting loads because we still want to do it. It's just that we need to consider about how to probably delegate it to the person who has the least speaking notes, which is nobody right now because well, besides Vidi, I guess. But yeah, that's one of the troubles. Okay,
okay, and then for the
but
next,
actually, wait, you're the chair. You should be opening the cards, actually, right?
the
Uh,
card.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, actually, shit. The recorder should be opening the cards. So I'm double rolled right now. I'm recording, so I need to open all the cards
Yeah.
as we go. I need to write this down, and I need to report to you. So I think in the future, actually, you should report the cards on the parts that Kiki had done. Right, that was the issue right there, and I should have been writing it down. Yeah.
Okay, so the chair will be the recorder.
No, that's not necessarily. The chair will talk because if the secretary is talking, then who is writing things down, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then the recorder.
The recorder, I think, can be anybody at this point because it's just essentially switching the cards over and forward. The recorder can be the chair. That doesn't slow the chair down. The recorder. What's your thoughts on this one, Vidi? Can the recorder be the secretary too?
Actually, for recording, if we have the secretary to record, it will be easier to upload. But uh, currently, the friction is that not everybody has access to the recording feature.
Yeah, to the upload.
Yes.
Only me actually at the moment. So that's why I'm always the recorder at the moment too as well. All right, so I think what we need is this then. I'll have a sub discussion with Vidi to figure out what the most efficient system on that one would be. But this is a little bit outside the scope. So what I'm going to do with that sub discussion is that will go on to meeting structure. So structure of actually that will go on next meeting roles. So what I will do is next meeting roles, we'll do a meet temp. And that meeting will be Jing and whoops, careers. What? That's weird. I'm not on this board. Recruitment? Okay, recruitment and Vidi. Okay, we'll do it 10 minutes after the scrum. Or wait, let's do immediately after scrum, slot one. And the intended result is to find the role of recorder. Actually, I'm acting as chair right now. Chair, this is your job.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll need to call the meeting and you'll need to also organize and account for that is a weakness and that needs to be met and dealt with.
Okay, so should I write it on your culture? Wait, no. The roles of secretary or recorder, yeah.
The role. Okay, in this particular case, I'll just go ahead and pop the card up. It's got the announcement of the breakout meeting is on next meeting roles card, and it will be with me and Vidi afterwards, and it will be to define the role of the recorder and how to give recording access to people, how to share recording access.
I'll just mention on the comment section that you and Vidi will have some discussion about this.
All right, back to chair.
Okay. Okay, the next one go to my card, yeah. Oh wait, still your stack actually about the culture of giving leadership feedback, sir.
Yes, so that part is active now. Every session, there will be a share on how the chair did. So we're implementing that across on every chapter. That's working pretty well. So that is in progress.
Okay. So in this case, there will be a pivot or iterate once after you had discussion with PD about to fix the chair router.
No, after the Scrum Ara, we will give you feedback about how you did as a chair. And after I do chair, you will give me feedback about how I do as chair. After each person chairs, there will be a feedback session on how that person performed.
Okay. Okay, then let's go to my board now. So first board about hiring a good ITB intern from UR Relations. We got three new candidates per two new entry students per yesterday, but none of them are ITB students. And then I had the interview yesterday, but only passed one. And then for today, we got three new entry, which is not from ITB students. That's pretty much it. And then for meeting with the team, yesterday I already did with Andy, and then the next one will be with Riza on Wednesday. Because I'm taking a day off most likely on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Okay, and then happy hour, we were postponing happy hour for this week, so there will be the another happy hour on next week. And then for first onboarding program, this is I try to make one onboarding program, but for trials. Wait, let me just first trial onboarding trial program. And then yeah, you guys maybe can check by opening the paper. So this is like MVP for one of our interns onboarded soon within next week. So there are some few changes that I made in the paper, like for example, for the preparation and learning source might be less than this because it's already been included in one paper in IT tools created by CD. And then most likely the program will be like an intern should be joining every chapter's daily scrum for the 6 days trial, just like Keisha and Kiki, so that they understand about the frameworks and how all chapters done. This is specifically for content. So also like I put up Skillshare and happy hour on the schedule. And yeah, I think that's it haven't finished yet, sir. So my question is for HR to be more specific, since we decided to have like 3 meetings only in a week. When is the next one, sir, after this?
Excuse me, what was the question?
When is the next meeting for HR daily scrum after this, after today?
Where, according to what we spoke about last time, right?
Yeah, then we only have 3 times, right, for a week. So
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wednesday,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. Okay, so Wednesday. Okay, then that's pretty much the update from me. I think we already discussed all stacked. Is there any further discussion about the cards on this? No? Okay, if there's no discussion, then let's change the chairperson for the next meeting. It will be Jing for chairperson. Secretary would be Kiki. And it's going to be held on, I think Monday. I'm taking a day off, so I'm not sure about Kiki yet. So whether in Monday or in Wednesday. Okay, I think
Oh,
that's
we should probably hold the next one on. Okay, we'll do it on Monday. Still, 'cause some people are still coming in. So, okay, that's it then. Let's review the notes from the secretary. So,
it.
All right. Notes on Vidi's part were really easy. That was just, once again, like I said, that was a copy and paste. On Kiki's, there's no updates on Kiki's card. As I was reporting, I couldn't actually write. This was kind of a friction during the thing. And Ara is postponing the happy hour. And for the rest, actually, I couldn't really hear. There was a bit of mumbling there. So, Ara, that part where the other parts, I think, needs to be enunciated a little bit more clearly for some of the earlier cards. So I think you also need to define which card you're at, which card you're at, which card you're at, rather than just sort of slur through the stack. Okay, that is basically the notes that I could capture from this, and it's also highlighting a little bit of the inefficiencies that we currently have with note taking. Let's go to the last part, which is feedback. Vidi, do you have any feedback for this session?
Well, hi, I'm Vidi from internal tools. So I guess the usage of internal tools in this context, Trello, calendar, and also Slack has already been done by human resource chapter. But maybe again, the problem is still recurring only in the part of written documentation in each card's activity. But overall, I think for calendar and Trello, it's already really used and actively used in the daily operationals. So maybe again, I'll take a time to think on. And Kabayu also actually suggested me to actually make like a short video tutorial, like what I did with Google Calendar feature on what to answer Om Rafiq's question. So it's like a short do's and don'ts on the IT tools.
Okay.
So
All right. Cool. And all right. Do you have any feedback for yourself?
For myself,
Yeah.
from myself or for myself, sir.
For yourself, like during you as a chair.
Today is actually pretty blur for me in the terms that maybe apa because of a lot of lack, like Kiki didn't update, so it's have difficulties for me to check whether it's on activity or in the paper.
Mhm.
Because actually, like previously, she told me that I already updated the paper, but it seems not. So might be on the paper or I don't know. So we're supposed to be seeing it in activity, right, on the comment section rather than going to the paper.
That's right.
So the feedback is that for myself, maybe I have to make sure when somebody said that I already update the paper, and I have to check whether it's already really updated or how exactly it's being updated. So,
Okay. Okay. Good. All right. For my part, Ara, I think it did feel a little bit blurry today. It did feel like we weren't really sure and we were dragging. And sorry if I got a little bit upset, but I felt like I had to step in and chair a little bit to create that structure and order. I know that you weren't supposed to chair. It was actually Kiki's job to chair today, so that was that was a little bit sudden. But if you are the chair, I think the most fundamental thing is to create certainty from uncertainty. Like when we see like messiness, let's say here, uh, this looks rather messy to me. Like there's not a lot of updates. Today is the 22nd. The last update here is on the 20th. So then that begs the question, yes, what has been happening for the past 2 days? Is there anything? Are things not moving along? So there's friction there. There's friction also on this part, like you said. We agreed that Kiki would combine these parts to create a little bit more tight format. That has also not been done. I think in that particular regard, when you see uncertainty, rather than getting confused by it, just call it out for what it is. Right? This is essentially somebody who is not updating correctly, and this creates essentially a written communication breakdown where we don't understand what's going on, and that part is okay, right? Just call it out for what it is. Just that's what it looks like. So on my cards, let's see. I think I don't know, like this one. This one, I feel like you could ask me for more clarity and certainty on it. So, what is the goal? How do you know that this has been actually done right? Because the difference in actually what I said and what's on the card is quite huge. I told on the card that this is in rotation, but the actual idea behind it is to gain more views on YouTube, right? So as chair, I think it's important to also keep that in mind. What is the goal of each thing, and is this person heading on goal? Last part was this. This part is getting a little bit better. Ara. I think it's much. We can see the updates, but also I think tell us what happened, right? How many people didn't pass and how many people passed. So that way, that's also a good feedback. Like I think what Vidi put up here was pretty cool, right? So what are the things that are working and what are the things that are not working, so that everyone in the rest of the company has clarity over what the metrics actually mean. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that's helpful, and that'll inspire a cleaner communication structure in the future. And also we're HR, so this is where the culture originates from. All right. Yeah. Should we have a talk about Kiki right now? All right. Okay.
Sure.
So is Kiki in an underperformance category? Because yeah, I've noticed there's this isn't the first time we brought it up. This is the second or third time this has come up already. And there is this aspect of, do we really want to continue with the person who doesn't respond well to coaching? Because we have told her a few times about where she's lacking, and I see at least now attention, but I don't see improvement. What's your thoughts?
What tension, sir?
Attention. So before, she would completely be inattentive to this, like not even aware when she was making mistakes. Now she's aware, but the mistakes are, from what I see, they're a lack of effort. We made it explicitly clear what should be done, but that has not been done. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better.
Yeah, in that case, I don't see any improvement. So I don't know. Is it like I start to believe that this is just not coachable, but since like we already tell it twice and it's pretty clear, and you can even nyontek what is it cheat on any other board, right?
Yeah.
By checking to how to get it done.
Right.
So in that sense, I don't see any improvement in communication.
Okay.
But I see the things that I valued is that she really do closing deals, and like she really make partnerships with the university. So in this sense, I can picture a framework for her. It's nothing related to like internal communications. Like this is just not for her. Meanwhile, I think that's also impossible to actually just do the project without following up with us.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense,
It's broken. I believe it is broken. So if a person can't communicate, then no matter how skilled or talented they are, then it's sort of, what use is it, right? Okay, she does hold kind of an interesting. Let's make this last warning. Yeah, last warning that we're not joking anymore. This is the last call. And if there's any more mess ups or any more times where we have to remind, then that's it. I've also noticed that the aggravation of the meeting level is quite high because of Kiki's, let's say, her inability to keep up to speed. Just always the rookie mistakes over and over again, and it's really aggravating. It sort of creates a very frustrating environment where we always have to constantly say, "All right, are you ready now? Did you get this fixed already?" Like it feels unhealthy, actually, or it feels like where we have to be nasty people now because this person is constantly dragging down the speed of the team. So I think what's warranted in this case is last warning. Essentially, hey, look, Kiki, if you don't get it right anymore, this is your last call. We will offboard you from the internship unless you can write clearly, unless you can listen to coaching, and we're not joking anymore, right? Last time, okay? I think last time was first warning, this is second warning, and then after that, there's no more. Then we will just offboard her, okay?
Okay.
All right. Oh, all right. Vidi, all right. Well, welcome to the world of HR. I guess this is what happens when we get underperformance. Also, underperformance cases, I think, are quite complex sometimes. They're not entire underperformance, but they are underperformance in crucial areas where there needs to be attention, such as communication. I think everyone can appreciate if a person doesn't communicate, how valuable would they be overall. Any thoughts, Vidi? Your feedback for that discussion?
Well, I think, yeah, that's actually relates to our discussions about whether someone is trainable or not trainable, right?
Mm,
Whether it's innate or trainable. And yeah, I believe people are trainable as long as they want to be trained or not, I guess,
yeah,
if it makes sense. If
let's.
it if they do not want to be trained, then it's a bit difficult if they do not want to learn.
I would agree. Let's actually ask that question. Uh, do you think Kiki wants to be trained, or does she want to just be right?
It's in my perspective, she's just confused, sir.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, she's confused all the time about how it's done. So even though that's like she wants to be trained, she wants, but not really actually.
Not
Not,
really, right?
not
You would
really
do
because like
what we asked you to do if you wanted to be trained, right?
yeah, and the case is that since my first warning a sync up with her,
Mhm.
I asked her, I tell her that hey, if you have something confusing, just come to me, and she never came to me up
Of
until now.
course, yeah. Okay.
So we've been seeking for mentorships in that sense.
I don't think so. I'm worried whenever I see people like like social justice and all this stuff. Right? There's a real sense of self entitlement. Social justice, I've noticed a lot of times, it's not about social justice. It's about moral high ground. It's like I have some sort of moral high ground over everyone else because I care about people. Um, Although it's sort of an abstract care about people, not really a concrete care about people. So that is a pattern that I've seen over a few times, and in Kiki's case, it sort of it correlates really closely. Um, anyway, okay. One last warning to Kiki, and then that's it. Yeah, because I notice it is having impact on how fluently this chapter is working, and this is an intern, right? And we're spending a lot of time thinking about um, this person who should be helping us, but in fact
Yeah.
is actually quite a friction. Um, is there anything else that we could have done better? All right.
Not really. I mean, we offer mentorships. We give the training. People are actually having a discussion with her, but maybe it's really not nothing from our side. We
Okay.
already offer the things that we can offer.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay, that's pretty much it then. I think we can move forward with that as last warning, and let's just let's make it actually let's make it on our card, right? Last warning. Um, I'll put it up here. So, Ara, can I ask you to speak with Kiki then about this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ara will issue uh, last warning about performance and uh, coachability. Okay, I think that's standard HR procedure too. Before the final straw, there is this last straw. Okay, coachability. Okay, all right, that's it then. Let's see. Any discussion that we would like to have regarding? Let's see. Any? We actually don't have a set date for having discussions, do we not?
What's the date, sir?
We don't have a fixed date every week where we get together to talk about HR discussions, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I asked you previously.
We should probably
I
have
think
that.
update for the 3 days, sir. Maybe it should be updated there, like for Monday,
Mhm.
Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's HR is a little bit slower, but let's go ahead and put that in on the structure of mission. Let's call the Wednesday is the mandatory discussion day, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so we call it on Wednesday, and Wednesday will be the discussion that we have. I'll go ahead to the calendar and update the Wednesday meeting to have a whoops, I activated the wrong profile here. I'll activate the Wednesday meeting to have that set up. Vidi, question. On your opinion, should the onboarding program be a schedule rather than on paper? Can we copy a schedule?
Yeah, we can copy a schedule.
Right, like on Google Calendar, right?
Google
So,
Calendar, correct. Yeah, we can copy the events to Google Calendar, your personal Google Calendar. Or something like that, yeah.
okay, I would agree. Ara, so currently we're using the calendar according to the old system, which was, why is it so hard to bring up a calendar on my thing? We're using the onboarding program using paper as the calendar. But what I'm thinking is in the future, you could just actually give a calendar to the new person, right? So what we do is we take the calendar on Google Calendar and we block it out, right? This is time that you will do this. This is time that you will do this. This is time that you will do this. And we essentially program the first week with all the activities, the orientation material, when to watch Chandra's videos, when to, depending upon each person. So we just give them a calendar and we say, follow this calendar for the first week. And afterwards, come up with your own time management system. So then that links to Slack and other people's Google calendars, and we have essentially that type of mesh. So it's perfectly fine. Version 1, I think we can use paper, but version 2, or the final version, we can actually issue a calendar. Okay, over to Ara for discussion. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, so there are some schedule that will require a mentor for like briefing or things like that. So if we copy paste, like, is it going automatically approved by the mentor, or how does it look like?
I think so. I think essentially what you can do is let's say for example, this is my calendar, right? This is like Jing's calendar on what to do. You can copy and paste a calendar and then just set blocks of time for them to do certain activities, right? Like maybe the first block of time is to do a daily journal. So they start a daily journal and then you insert check-in points from mentors, right? So you essentially set up like a checkpoint for a mentor to come in and see if they're doing okay. And it can be kind of like this, right? There's can be like an office hour that is available every day to the mentee for them to talk to a mentor. And I think actually, all right, I think it should be where the mentee asks for mentorship, right? Rather than the mentor sets it up. So essentially, and that will be part of the program to see if they actually can be coached. If the mentee does not ask for mentorship, then it's always going to be someone harder to train, right? Because they're not proactively using this resource. But if you put it in as an office hour, and then you say, hey, look, you're free to call upon anybody you want during these times to ask for advice. You just need to schedule it, and then help others first has a more defined scope, right? Rather than help others first anytime in the person's history. So help others first can just be during the trial week, we will help you. But please ask for help on these subjects. This is the expertise of each mentor, and you can pick and choose what you would like to ask about. And I think you can just plan a schedule across an entire week, and they just, let's say the first part is learn the tools, right? So 1 hour, read the tools and learn how to use the tools. And then the next hour is sync up and practice. And so that way it's more regimented, and this person will come through this program and they should have, they should know the culture, they should know the tools, and perhaps maybe a mentor exam at the end. So we ask them questions about, do they know the core values? Do they know whatever? How do they arrange this? How do they arrange that? And that could be a final test before we let them into the company. Yeah?
Okay. So now the new iterations for onboarding program is that schedule will be defined by HR for 1 week. Yeah.
I think so. I think so. I think that would be great, because then we can fix the onboarding time, which right now it depends, right? We have no idea. We have no idea when we say pair with this person, how much they covered, how much they know, how much they don't know. Are they core value compliant? We have no idea right now. So in the future, we have the training classes, let's say for air support. We get a new air support person in, then we have a 1 week training program a calendar for them, and they will watch Chandra's things. They will go and visit the zoo. They will understand all the different cases that there are. They'll get some live practice, and then they'll do the sync ups. And then we say that this person is ready, right? Because they have covered all the courses. It's like when you get a degree at UGM, right? You need certain courses that you cover, and we need to know that you're competent in this before we say that you get this college degree. Okay, all right. That's just a vision for the future. I think that would be the final vision, right, Vidi? Because then that calendar could integrate really easily into the rest of the Bukit Vista ecosystem, which does not use paper to coordinate things, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So yes, back to our.
Okay, I think I think that's pretty much it. Also, sir, I have question for
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
Since I'm going to have then make a schedule for each chapters, right? For my
Yes.
support. Where exactly I can save this schedule itself that I can copy that it's like a tablet. Where can I?
Good question. Good question. I think in that particular case, Vidi, it's just like making a calendar, right? So you just create a calendar on Google Calendar, and then you start filling it in. So let's just say I think we can have some discussion, or maybe you can talk to Vidi about that, yeah,
Yeah.
Ara, about how to create that. Once you have the calendar, I think you can copy calendars, you can replicate calendars, and you can just share the calendar with each new intern or each new chapter member, and that's how you could build it. So you have maybe yeah, you would have a basic BV citizenship course, right? And I could even make videos for that. Like, this is how you plan an initiative. This is what you do to use data. This is where you go to find this. You have basic BV citizenship courses, and then specialty courses for people who are, let's say, in data, or people who are doing air support, or people who are doing HR. They all have specialty courses, kind of like school. Everyone takes math, bahasa, science, whatever, and then depending upon your major, you'll take other specific courses. So just within a week slot, I think that gives us about 8 times. Let's say there's 8 hours in a day times 5. There's 40 different slots that we can put into 1 hour sort of training sessions, and the more of that's automated, Ara, the more that we have video instruction, whatever for that, then it gets easier. You just simply slip that in, and then they watch it, right? Okay, great, fantastic. I love this. This is going to be great. This is going to be so much easier in the future to onboard people, hopefully. So, okay, that was sort of the discussion that we normally would have had spontaneously. So I'll put that into discussion management since I'm secretary today. But yeah, let's meet regularly on Wednesdays to have that, and I will also note there. Okay, that's it. Vidi, we're supposed to have a discussion now. Okay, all right. This is done. So I'll continue in the discussion with Vidi about video share. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Bye.
Okay. Happy Eid al-Fitr, Ara. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, send me your ad. Oh, I was gonna send her address. I was gonna send her cookies or something. Oh God, it's almost leadership time. I haven't had a chance
Right.
to. Okay.
How many meetings do you have, sir, for today?
Like a lot. I don't know. It feels like a lot, but 1, 2, 3, 4. That's that. This is the fourth one so far, and
Yeah.
then the fifth one, and then the sixth one, and that's it. Yeah. So 6 meetings today. But okay. As far as recordings go, I'm trying to figure out. Right now, I have to be in most recordings because I have access to Bukit Vista.
Right.
I think in the future we can just give a few people access, and these people will just be the designated recorders during the meeting. Yeah, part of the conflict is how, if you're secretary, it's kind of tricky. If you're talking a lot, how can you secretary, right? You're sort of like
Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about the secretary. Everyone, actually, in every Scrum meeting, everyone mentioned that like when you're secretary, it's so difficult to keep up with the meeting and talk at the same time, right? That's why I think written communication is important in the sense that if you, like just now you mentioned how you just need to copy paste, right? Something like
yeah,
that. Or you don't even have to write on the card if it's clear enough. If the things that you have a secretary have to write on the card are something new, something that's not written in the activity, like something that is decided
Mhm.
during the Scrum meeting. For
That's
example,
right.
okay, I have this initiative, I have this card, and I wrote the progress and the journey of that card, right?
Mhm.
And then during the Scrum meeting, someone has an input or whatever, and that's the only point that the secretary have to
I
like,
agree.
or better, perhaps each individual will write on their own card if it makes sense.
It's actually okay, sir. Vidi, I think it's good to have a secretary because I've noticed if some person's suffering, usually everybody else will go and help them.
Right.
And if you have that case, that tends to work really well in Indonesia. People are very empathetic. So
Yeah.
if you create that suffering, then it creates a response, right? Everybody, hey, look, make the secretary's job easy by just updating
Right.
your.
Right. Right. Right.
There has to be kind of like a what's the person being rescued called? Indonesian people love to rescue people. A
The damsel
rescuee,
in distress, right?
a what?
The damsel in distress.
Yeah, yeah, damsel in distress. This is very central. I've noticed in Indonesian culture. It's very different from Chinese culture.
Yeah.
Chinese culture, when somebody has an accident in the middle of the road, everyone's just like not touching that guy, right? And leave him alone. Indonesian culture is like everybody in the world goes to help.
Right.
So there is I think this in a leadership stance there is this leverage that if we tell everyone to do it, maybe everyone doesn't do it, right? But if
Yeah.
you do it so that you can make this person's life easier, then everybody seems to agree that it's a good thing to do. So
Right.
that carries that motivation. So from a leadership point of view, I would say let's just keep it going
Okay.
because that creates a problem, and that problem, the solution to that problem it will just naturally solve itself.
Yep. Yep.
I would say you don't even have to teach it. It will just
Yep.
converge towards a solution. Okay,
Okay.
and then the second part about the upload. So I guess we can share access to Bukit Vista for everybody, but that's kind of a centralized account. I don't want that much access to it.
Allow people to have that account, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, I'll just do the recording. Me, Rizal.
Actually, what if the yeah, correct. What if the chapter lead actually downloads an app like OBS Studio or something like that,
Uh huh.
and they'll be the one who record the meetings.
Chapter lead downloads and records the meetings. Okay. What is OBS Studio?
Um, a recording software basically.
We're recording right now, and we're by. We don't want any other recording software. We paid for this. You see, that's not here.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that's why. But oh, okay. If you share it to the chapter lead, it'll be more like centralized, right?
I guess, but then that's so many downloads, right? That's like one download, second download, one upload. I'm just thinking about the data path, and that is so long, right? Goes from cloud to person, back up to cloud, back down to person, back up to cloud again. It's like
Oh, wait. So how is it going like right now? Like
right now,
you
after
record
I
everything, right?
uploaded it, after right now it's loaded up on the cloud, I think, and then I download it and then I put it back on YouTube, right? So it's just one.
You can't share it,
No, I can't share it. I can't share it from.
right? But what if the chapter lead downloads and uploads?
I guess, but how would they get it, right? They would need me to upload it over to somewhere, and I might as well just upload it to. Yeah, it would have to, but you don't want everybody to have access to Bukit Vista, right? That has like everything on there, all the content, all the legal documents, everything is.
Yeah, yeah. That's why only the chapter leads, right?
It should be restricted. Okay, it's not that big of a problem for the current week, so I'm just gonna postpone thinking about it. Right now, I'm kind of like low on energy anyway.
Yeah.
But if you do think of an elegant solution, let me know.
Right. Right. Okay.
There's just other things I'll put at the top of my stack. So
Yeah.
it's okay. I still plan to be monitoring the discussions, but I've removed myself from most of the
Right.
leading calls now. And what I'm monitoring for now is who is essentially going to be the best lead. So who can discover, who can prioritize, and who can problem solve. So leadership is a lot more clear now to me than it was before. Now I used to be like I need to lead all the time. Now I'm like
Yeah.
thinking about who else can lead. But before you do that, you need to kind of come up with the framework for what leadership is. So yeah, that part I think that's what I'm observing, and And yeah, that's it. That's
Actually, I have a question, sir, regarding the secretary thing.
yeah.
Okay, so what I've been doing and Liz is doing in RM, right? Every time we are going to have a breakout meeting, we don't have breakout meetings, right, in RM?
No.
Yeah, we always have pairings because usually our meeting lasts an hour because of the ideas discussion, right? So what we did is basically we update the card just to mention that, oh, we'll have a meeting. But for some reason, we always have an update the next time we do Scrum, right?
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, yeah, we did the meeting because and the notification and the time, the location. You don't have to discuss it during the Scrum.
No.
The secretary doesn't have.
It's I think when you have flow with a person, you don't even need to communicate explicitly that much because you
Yeah,
already have implicit, like people have been working a long time or have been living together for a long time. They can just blink and
right.
the
They
other
know
person
each
will
other.
kind of know what that
Right.
means, right? Because they'll see, oh, that's out of context. What could that mean? But I've noticed perhaps it's also language. We're using English a lot, and that's maybe not
Yeah.
native for a lot of people. And also, written communication is not native for a lot
Yeah.
of people who went to. Some people went to trade school here, right? So they're more on action than writing things down. So it's important, though. In our discussion with Siki, he said one of the most crucial skills he looks for is clear written communication.
Yeah.
He says that good written communication means, or clear writing means clear thinking. And
Oh yeah, yeah. I read the documentation.
oh, good, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I,
well,
I read documentation the day after. Yeah,
okay,
because and also I found in LinkedIn a post that mentions like you think you are more structured when you write
oh,
because you have to think before you write.
definitely, definitely.
A lot of people don't actually think a lot before they speak, something like that. So, but you have to think before you write.
Least of all me. No, but yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that writing allows you to. This is why sometimes you see people like what's taking them so long to write this, right? It's
Right,
writing it. It's actually it's synthesizing the thought and putting it in a way, and then iterating back. Hey, did what I think makes any sense? And then you iterate again
right.
to get it perfected. Um,
So
I,
yeah, again, what we were talking about was this idea of I see a lot of Scrum meetings actually discuss the meeting time
mhm.
during the Scrum itself, and the secretary actually have to write the meeting time, the location. It makes sense.
We put it on the template, Vidi, so that essentially we got rid of the meeting time. We just call it slot one, slot two, slot three.
Right,
Slot is relative to the end time of the scrum. So slot one is right after the scrum. Slot two is 10 minutes after. Or three. So that simplified it. But the I guess we can just assume that it will happen in the future, right? Maybe we can just
right,
yeah,
right.
just assume that people will meet and abstract that part away.
Yep, yep. But then again, what I said before, that we have to actually write in the uh, card that people will meet.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, because it's yeah,
right?
right. You'll see it right in next Scrum. Oh, like what Andre did. Like Nadine in
Mhm.
Nadine's card, she wrote that she's gonna meet with Kagani, Cynthia, and all that stuff. But there's no update, right? And then
Right,
Andre noticed that, oh, you wrote in this card
right.
that we're gonna meet. Did you meet? And then Nadine was like, oh yeah, yeah, we met. But then there's no result yet. So that's half of the